Hello, everyone. This is Kim Verdensky, your composition instructor, and I am sharing with you today the processes for revising your humanities essay, just as a final reminder of what needs to be happening in your essay. So if you want to get logged into your course, that would be the best spot to start. That's where I'll be walking through. So from our course content, as always, I do add some great resources for you in the news area. I did also post for you a Google number that you may message me if you have immediate concerns. Otherwise, you can always email me, and I do respond to your emails typically within 24 hours. I updated some information about Zoom Room, which is an additional opportunity for students to receive help from the college. It's kind of like a drop-in tutoring service, not for huge issues, but again, for little drop-in quick questions. So please make sure that you do check your course on a regular basis. Even if you feel like you're progressing well, it's always good to just check in and make sure you didn't miss anything. I do maintain the calendar for you. So as you can see, we're looking at finishing up the humanities unit, and I will be posting the dates for our next unit within the next couple of days. I'd like everyone to really focus on that final revision before I post those next dates for you. Just like the humanities unit, you will have approximately 4 weeks to complete the next unit. And we'll start with a couple small building exercises. But again, I'll post those dates in the next couple days because I want everyone to really be focusing on the final revisions. I'm going to go ahead and change my view over to student view so that everybody sees the same information. Remember, you do have access to virtual tutoring. You have a couple different options. You can do tutor.com. And you also can try to connect with a St. Petersburg College tutor. These are virtual options, so please take advantage of them. There are some limited face-to-face options available, but both tutor.com and the SPC tutoring services provide virtual options to get feedback on your work. So at this point, as I said, we are looking at the final unit of the humanities unit, the draft unit, and then the essay submit. In the draft unit, there is a sample essay that we haven't discussed in depth, but I will go ahead and walk through that with you now. Okay, so in this sample lesson, you have comments that are in the margins that comment on the success of the student. This is an A sample paper. Remember, it is going to be evaluated based upon a rubric. So the area that this student could have improved still a little bit more on was their use of language and diction and syntax. So some of their sentences are a little simple, and there are a couple areas where they could have been combined. But overall, the student has done a really sophisticated job. They have a clear purpose stated with their thesis statement. The artist uses a rule of third and color to convey that loneliness is a lasting emotion, which can be seen in the 2 empty chairs and the red boy. So it's very clear that this essay is going to discuss the rule of thirds and the color to show the idea of emptiness as a lasting emotion. These words then become your key words that should reappear in your topic sentences and in your explanation throughout the essay. If we look at the general package of the essay, the student has included the correct header and heading. So we have the student's name, the instructor's name, the course, and then the day, month, year the assignment is due. In the top right-hand corner, using the header, insert header, you have the student's last name and page number. This is all standard MLA format. Very nicely done. Remember, visualize this neatly wrapped, beautiful package. It makes us feel good versus if someone gives you a gift and it's just crumpled in a Walmart bag. I don't have that same warm, fuzzy feeling as if this is nicely put together. So really try to achieve proper format to create that warm, fuzzy feeling. The title, it says Only the Lonely, so we have an indication of the purpose, but what about this loneliness? So only the lonely in 3 chairs, or only the lonely created by Ingzang. Include either the tone and the piece of art, or the tone and the artist. We want to include those 2 elements, our purpose in tone or theme, and in either the piece of art or the artist. Okay, so shoot for a more compound, complex title as opposed to just the subject. The student has utilized transitional terms. Initially, the artist uses rule of thirds. So initially is somewhat unique to the circumstance. So there's good effort being made here at Mature Language. We've repeated our key word, which is again one of our goals, from our thesis into our topic sentence. So everything in this paragraph is going to be about the use of rule of third. And we should continue to use mature artistic language throughout it so that we are developing concrete organization. So the student repeats the idea of the right middle third and the left third. All of this is using the appropriate mature visual vocabulary. Okay. Hold on just one moment. The student continues with concluding the statement. So in the concluding statement of each paragraph, we are making connections back to our thesis statement. So again, we know that this paragraph is over. It has come to an end. The second paragraph again begins with furthermore, a transitional word. It uses the key words, the color red, well developed. It gives an example, and then it concludes. The one area that I would like to emphasize in this sample is that the student in the conclusion reverts into a first-person narration. This first-person narration is what we want to try to avoid. So this would be one of the areas where the student kind of faulted in their rubric score a little bit. Again, the use of mature academic language. So if we look at this example, it says this little boy will grow up to become a man, but he will be angry and sad unless someone helps him. I don't like when I see someone sad and alone, but I can't do anything about it. So we have a couple short, choppy sentences, and then we have the use of the first person I. If we try to combine these and think about the little boy and the idea of gloomy and sad. Okay, so the loneliness of the little boy suggests that he could grow up to be angry and sad unless someone helps him. It is upsetting to see someone sad and alone, especially when there is nothing that can be done to help them. Now again, I've reworded those sentences to avoid the first person. That is our goal in all of our academic writing, restating in a more objective, concrete manner. Scrolling down, the work cited has a hanging indent. There is only the one source. The student did not use any supporting sources. You, of course, may use supporting sources, but they may not be someone else's critique or analysis of a piece of art. They may only be historical, biographical pieces. They should all appear in alphabetical order with a hanging indent. As a reminder, Wikipedia is not an acceptable academic source. So in collecting your sources, please make sure that you are using mature academic sources. So I'm going to go ahead back into our Writing for Humanities unit. And at this point, everything throughout the unit should be completed. I'm viewing it as a student. I haven't completed all the exercises. So if you're seeing anything red throughout your unit, please make sure you complete those as soon as possible. Once we conclude a unit, I really don't like to regress and go back and evaluate or score. items from prior units because it distracts the student's current focus. So if at all possible, please conclude any makeup work that you might have for this visual vocabulary and this humanities unit before the end of this weekend. Okay, so I just went over the sample essay that is here in the draft area. Here's where we were supposed to put our professional feedback from the tutor. So if we haven't done that yet, please do so. The idea is that you're getting assistance. Remember, I did open this humanity draft for originality Dropbox so that I could try to give some feedback. If anything had been submitted prior to yesterday, I have made feedback, and I'm going to try to get there today, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to have time to do that today. That's but I'm going to do my best. Here's where we're going to put our final submission. And I'm going to scroll down and we're going to take a look at this rubric. Remember, the rubric is how your paper will be evaluated based upon your organization, the introduction and conclusion, the use of visual vocabulary, the MLA format and citation, and then the overall academic expression. So as I mentioned with the red chair example, that student had a few mistakes, but most of the patterns were done properly. So again, it was an overall A paper because most of it was sophisticated. Most of it was well developed, and they had a few errors. So please use the rubric here as a checklist to make sure you've met all of the expectations. As always, I'm here to help you. I'll do whatever I can to help you navigate through the expectations and the course material. Please reach out if you need any assistance. You can email me or you can text me from the message that is posted in the news area of our course. Remember, if texting, please make sure you include your name, the course that you're in, and a specific question so that I can try to best assist you. I hope this last-minute review gave everybody the encouragement that they needed to finish this assignment strongly. And again, the goal is to make sure that we have everything for the humanities unit done by Friday, end of the weekend at the latest, so we can start to move on to our next unit. Thanks. As always, be confident and do your best to finish. I will see you all soon. Thank you.